Okay. We're making a podcast about the analysis of Thank You Man by Langston Hughes. The protagonist in the text is Roger, who is a child of 14 to 15 years of age. He is lower class, and we base that upon the fact that he has a very dirty appearance or soiled appearance, and like he talks with a very slangified language. He doesn't have very good pronunciation or very advanced vocabulary that you would encounter with the upper class 14 to 15-year-old youth. The antagonist, there's actually two antagonists in the text. The one is Luila, which is a large middle-class woman, and we think she's middle-class because she has a kind of, she has a quite advanced job. She's working in a hotel, in a beauty salon, and then she has, like, her appearance, she's kind of a stereotype, hell no kind of black woman. I'm not sure if she's black, but she seems a very black. Not very black, you can't say that. She has that typical black woman slang, and she has the black woman attitude, which you don't really encounter in southern states with white women, middle-class white women. She also makes a half Nelson in the text, which is a fighting stunt technique, and that's actually quite interesting in the way that she's a woman. And it really, not because women can't fight, I'm not saying that, I'm not man chauvinist. Shit, I didn't know that word in English. Probably do, just can't remember it. But she makes a half Nelson, and that's quite interesting, and I really enjoyed that. The other antagonist is Roger himself, which later on in the text, like in the start of the text, there's the physical confrontation between Roger and Luila, where she implants the half Nelson. But then later on, it is Roger himself that he is fighting, trying to overcome his dark and devious past. The stereotypes in this text are Roger himself. I would call him. I'm strongly leaning towards thinking that both characters in the text are black, and I base that upon the fact that the writer himself tends to write about African Americans. Like almost all of his text is about African Americans, and the way they talk, like the slang they use, is kind of African, and it relates to how African Americans talked in that time and area of America. And then it's also, yeah, it's probably that. But yeah, if he is a young black man, it's a stereotype of himself that he's a young he's a young pity thief that is cured by unconditional love. The only thing he needed to change his ways was love, and then he opened his eyes. And the other pretty obvious stereotype is Luila, which is black. She is black, and she uses like the black jargon. She's talking with the hell no attitude, and she's very warming, but she's actually not that sentimental a woman. Or she's got lots of depth, but doesn't show it, and that's also a thing I see in common in the literature and the movies I'm exposed to about the women, this black woman. I don't really talk about the conflicts in the text are that Roger, our protagonist, is faced with. Is the first one is fight or flight, when he's like the physical conflict, the battle of Roger versus old lady Luila. And the other conflict, which is like you kind of breeze through that. It's expressed rather shortly in the text, but it's a physical conflict, and Luila overcomes him, overpowers him. I think it's called. Or is the correct way of saying that? The other thing is that he is faced with the moral conflict inside the house to run. Like fight or flight. Should he snatch her purse and run, or should he face that uncertain future that is to stay in the house and actually see what the woman's all about? Because he doesn't know if she's calling the cops or stuff like that. Yeah, I think on to you, Secret.
James Langston Hughes was born the 1st of February 1902 and died in 1967 of cancer. Well, he grew up in Illinois and got educated in Lincoln University and studied English literature. He was a quite important figure during the Harlem Renaissance, during the 20s and 30s. He is quite famous in some of his poems, like Dream Deferred and South, and some of his short stories like Thank You Ma'am. Well, he operates with descriptions which are quite characteristic. He uses all the senses and he uses a very extraordinary vocabulary and portrayal of black life in America.
Yeah, also to address the dialect and language in the text, it is interesting in the way that you're only faced with two characters in this text, or in this novel, and they both use slang a heck of a lot, and they kind of have that typical southern black attitude, and it gives a lot of character to the characters. Like it gives spice. You see, they seem more flavored when you read, and this is what you encounter instead of like normal English that can be quite tiresome over sometimes. So this is a different kind of text for me to read, because the language in the text by the characters are a lot different to what I'm usually exposed to. And I think the last question is the concept of stereotyping. Are stereotypes useful, or are they destructive? Discussing the Wednesday issue relating to your own world. And I don't really understand the question in the way that, I actually do. Stereotypes are an interesting thing. It's just like putting people in categories, and I think the human brain likes to do that. And I don't think it's unnatural. You just got to watch out for it being hurtful. So, and it's also quite useful in the way that it's a lot easier to describe someone if you have a stereotype to put them on. So it's just a verbal cheat sheet. Thank you. I think that's all. Off to you, Maria.